right, Michael, let's get down to the blue chip off-ball linebackers in the NFL. And your list is as follows: Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys, Fred Warner of the San Francisco 49ers, Levante David of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Demario Davis of the New Orleans Saints, and Devondre Campbell of the Green Bay Packers. And this is an interesting list to me because Parsons being on the off-ball linebacker list, I think, is where a lot of this discussion might end up going. But before we get into that, do you think Parsons, after 1 year, entering his age 23 season now, second year, he is seen as an elite player here? Do you think he has a chance to possibly be one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in football?
Well, I mean, look, he's versatile. So, the one thing that makes Parsons so effective is the fact that you can't designate him as anything but the fourth rusher. And because you have to designate him as a down lineman, no matter where he lines up, he becomes a problem for you. So because of his ability to play on 2 feet and his ability to move from A gap to C gap, he becomes like, who's got him? Where are we going? It's the great Belichick line. I got him, you got him. Fuck, nobody's got him, right? And so, like, when you line him up in the A gap, right, and they say, Parsons, 11, he's the Mike. We got him, right? And then he moves out to the slot, and now you got to block him coming off the edge. We got to change the protection late. He's a weapon. He's a weapon to attack protections. And when he does get engaged to a big tackle, he can defeat him. He's got the power and the ability to defeat him. He's the modern day player. Lawrence Taylor could do all these things. Lawrence Taylor was a true Sam linebacker. Lawrence Taylor could set the edge in the run game. He could drop back in pass coverage. Remember, Lawrence Taylor was covering punts as a gunner in his rookie year. That's how talented and fast he was. So I'm not comparing. Nobody compares to Lawrence Taylor. Let's just put that out there. Like, nobody. But Parsons has similar traits to what he does and what he can offer. And the scheme-wise is completely attuned to what his talent level is.
Yeah, and Dan Quinn and that defensive staff really got creative in how they used Micah Parsons. That really unlocked that Dallas defense. But I almost wonder, is using him as an off-ball linebacker, is that the most optimal way to deploy Micah Parsons? Because ESPN, they've been doing their list of position guys, 1 through 10 or so, and they've talked to executives, coaches, players in the league, and there's an NFC executive that had this quote in the article. He said, quote, "If Dallas does anything but let him rush, they are crazy." Do you think Parsons should transition more to an on-ball linebacker later on in his career, or do you think that how they're using him now is the best way to go about it?
I think you got to mix it up. I think if you're Nolan Ryan and you throw fastballs, somebody hits you, right? But if you're Nolan Ryan and you got to change up a curveball and a slider and a fastball, you're going to be tough. I think the multiplicity of where he lines up creates really problems. If he lines up at right defensive end, and he's coming off the right side of the defensive end, the left tackle knows, okay, I got a chip on the outside. I set inside out on Parsons. I got him. But if he lines up over the left tackle and he bails and goes into coverage, right, and they bring pressure off the right side, and you got 2 people blocking nobody, you got a chance to get home. So to me, it's more of the scheme. To me, he becomes easier to block when he's just down. Okay, we got him. We got to double him inside out. I got a chip on him. I'm motioning the tight end over. The tight end has him on the outside edge. I got him on the inside edge. We both got him, okay? Well, if he lines up at right end as the ball lines up, now he moves over to the A gap. Okay, you got to change the protection. You sliding it that way? Okay, if you want to slide to him. He reroutes the protection, and once he reroutes the protection, then something can come off the protection. And so he can get somebody else home free. So like basketball, you're going to double the best scorer. Somebody's open in the corner 3.
Yeah. No, yeah, and he really does. He causes confusion on the offensive line, and it's interesting because as a Cowboys fan, sitting there on that draft night, the whole expectation was they're going to take a corner. They're going to take Surtain or J.C. Horn. Those guys go to Carolina and Denver respectively. Dallas is sitting there at 10. Like, oh my gosh, like we thought we were going to get one of these cornerbacks. Our guys are gone. They trade back to get Micah Parsons in the first round. They trade back to 14, ultimately getting what is probably going to be the steal of the draft. Is he your top blue chip guy of the off-ball linebackers in the NFL?
By his versatility, yes, because he can affect the passing game so much. not in terms of coverage. I mean, look, he can go back and cover too. And I don't want him to cover like on key rushing downs. He's got to rush, but I don't want him rushing at right end. I want him rushing at A gap. I want to be able to, some of these guards, what makes him so effective is he goes and lines up over a guard, right? And he's coming downhill towards the guard, and the center's being occupied by somebody, and so is the tackle, right? Now that guard's got to handle this player on a two-way go. It's hard. You got to handle his quickness. You got to handle his change of direction. And then what makes him so effective, he can play with power. See, I mean, why is he better than Jamal Adams? Well, Jamal Adams, once he gets engaged into a offensive lineman, it's over. Parsons, it's not. So even though Adams has versatility in terms of where he aligns in the front, that versatility, nobody's worried about him coming into the A gap if they got an offensive lineman on. They'll just snatch him.
Yeah.
Parsons, you're worried.
Yep, Parsons, he overwhelms people with his side. This converting speed to power is really what he's so good at. There, Jamal Adams, was he in the off-ball linebacker discussion for you?
I mean, that's really should be, but he's just not. To me, he's not. He's not a line. I mean, he's one of those. I don't know what to put with him because he can't cover, and when he's the fifth rusher and the line accounts a running back on him, he's effective. When the line accounts a offensive lineman on him, he's not effective. See, and so that's what makes Parsons so effective. He's effective because no matter who you account for him, he can beat one-on-one.
Yeah, I think I saw somebody on social media make the joke that Jamal Adams is like an edge safety. He's a pass rushing kind of safety there.
He's a dynamic. I mean, he's a cover three in the box safety that doesn't exist anymore in the game. Like I thought. I mean, Demario Davis can cover.
Yeah.
He can attack the pocket. He's very versatile. Same thing with Campbell last year. Campbell had a bunch of tackles. He had 2 interceptions. He was around the football, had 6 quarterback hits. I mean, he was all over the place, right? So I was really impressed. He made the Packers defense faster. So does Lamonte. David does everything for them. I know Devin White had a lot of tackles as well too, and Devin White's a really good player. He had 18 quarterback hits last year. I think he should have been in the red category, because I think he's really a good player. But to me, he wasn't as an off-the-ball linebacker in coverage, you almost have to bring him all the time. Like I don't think he was as effective in that category. To me, Fred Warner is the guy that sets everything up for the 49ers. I mean, without him, it's really impossible.
Yeah, these guys, I mean, they're all terrific linebackers. Fred Warner, a 3rd-round draft pick. He's never missed a game in his career. He started all 64 games in his first 4 seasons, including playoff games as well, entering his age 26 season. He's awesome in coverage. I think that's a really where that he excels there. That was a guy I wanted the Cowboys to pick, but they picked Leighton Vander Esch in the first round instead, and that's clearly gone really well for them. But David...
going back to David, though, I think when he missed those 4 games this year, he wasn't quite the same play. It kind of hurt their defense a little bit. To me, when he's humming and he's going, did he make a lot of plays in the passing game? No, he didn't have an interception last year, but I think he gives you a chance to set that defense. Plus, he's fast. He's 31 years old. He probably has an arrow going down. I just was disappointed in White's coverage skills.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the age, because David, 11th year, this season's going to be his 11th year in the NFL. Same with Demario Davis. These are older guys. Typically, these blue chip guys, it's guys who are ascending or are kind of have reached that peak. They're in the prime of their careers. One might argue that David and Davis are kind of on the back 9 of their careers, given the position that they play here. What would you say to that?
I would say that's true. I would say the arrow's down. I mean, Davis is 32, but Davis is so good. I mean, he had 10 quarterback hits last year. He's around the football. He sets the defense really effectively. He had 7 passes he defended last year, which I thought was really good. And so he's able to make plays in the game, and he controls the defense really effectively.
Yeah, Davis, kind of a late bloomer in his career. He had productive seasons with the Jets and Browns, but didn't really come on to the national stream of consciousness until he got to the New Orleans Saints and really took off as an All-Pro. Devondre Campbell of the Green Bay Packers. Was there a more surprising All-Pro than Campbell? Based on what he was signed for to come to Green Bay before the season, nobody really talking about that signing, and then he all of a sudden explodes as a first-team All-Pro.
Yeah, I made a ton of tackles, and to me, he was third and had 102 solo tackles alone. I mean, 102 solo tackles. Now, you say that's great. I mean, Jordan Brooks had 109 solo tackles last year. Jordan Brooks had 10 tackles for losses. I mean, like Jordan Brooks, and he had 5 passes defended. So, I mean, Jordan Brooks is making a lot of plays, and he's not even a red category because I think he has a little bit to go. But Campbell, to me, took that giant step, and I thought he was really good. The other guy that makes a ton of tackles, he doesn't fit for every scheme, is Perryman. He's in Carolina. He's really small. When he gets with the Raiders in that Gus Bradley scheme, he becomes more effective.
Just to recap all of the blue chips guys, we have Micah Parsons of the Cowboys, Fred Warner of the 49ers, Levante David of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Demario Davis of the New Orleans Saints, and Devondre Campbell of the Green Bay Packers. Thanks for watching the GM Shuffle with Michael Lombardi, and for more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to VSiN Live and the GM Shuffle podcast with Michael Lombardi, presented by DraftKings and VSiN, wherever you get your podcasts.